Yo. We're live? Yeah, we're live. Forgot to change the stream latency. Oh well. I know I'm early. We'll see what happens. Oh. What's up? How are you doing? What exactly would you eat if you were diagnosed with UC? Eggs. Eggs would be your primary source of nutrients because they're very easy to digest. So, eggs for one, and then milkshakes because you're gonna need some mucus to help protect your gut lining. Fermented milk, perhaps. It depends. Some people do well with that, some people don't. And then easier to digest meats like fish, whitefish, cod, pollock, orange roughy, you know. something that's very flaky and easy to digest. You don't want anything heavy on your stomach. And then, you could try things like butter, maybe some sour cream. That's a little heavier. Little bits of butter. Again, you don't want to be eating like big meals, but smaller meals throughout the day. So probably keep, so you make a pint of milkshake, drink like a cup, and then wait, and then drink like another cup. Vegetable juice. I would say not really, because the pulp, the fiber, can irritate the gut. But, there might be some exceptions. For instance, if you have bleeding, you would try a little bit of the green cabbage juice, a couple ounces of that every few days, every other day maybe. Yeah, just focusing on, like I said, getting the eggs in, the fish, the little bit of fish, not too much, not big meals. Probably eat like a quarter pound of meat at a time, third of a pound of meat at a time. And to speed up healing, keep a hot water bottle on your tum-tum, at night when you're laying down or lounging around. That's good to do. Try those things. That's what I would do. I'd also read the book, because there's stuff in the book too. It smells like a farm. The Gale angle was brilliant. Am I right? Oh, yeah, I think so. In terms of editing purposes, yeah, I mean, it seemed to flow better. Oh no, the story. I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. There definitely is something to that. And I've said this before. The looks maxers of today are just the metrosexuals of the late '90s and early 2000s. So yeah, I mean, it's a little weird to be a performative male. It's female behavior. I mean, I say this as someone I'm doing this, right? But I'm not making it pretty. I'm not making it perfect. I'm not. A lot of the stuff I don't care about. Is just informational. But some people, and it's really quite interesting just how insecure and sensitive, younger men and teenagers and stuff are, because that's really who this attracts. It's really crazy how the internet has done a number on people's minds. Back when I was a kid, teenager, whatever, coming up into my own, there really wasn't a lot of the same pressure. Basically it was like some people would wear, American Eagle or Aeropostale or whatever, and that was seen as like, oh, you were kind of cool. But honestly, most kids thought you were kind of, let's just say, I don't know. Not it was like people wearing it were like trying to be cool, because it was just a lot of money, but it actually wasn't cool. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like that's pretty much. And, you know, some people are more self-conscious about acne than others, and you know, but this stuff going on, this like looks magazine stuff, it's crazy. Having all these routines and all these, you know, things just for your looks, and like getting surgery, plastic surgery. You know, 20 years ago, if I went to my parents and was like, "Hey, can I get jaw extension surgery or plastic surgery so I can look better?" they'd like, they'd think I was crazier than I was, because I was a heavy metal kid, and you know, one time, I think I told this before, but I was you know, back in the day, and people used to go to the movies. They don't do that anymore. And me and the bros, we'd migrate from the Lenox Theater to the Barnes and Noble in the shopping center, and then we would change all the books in the Barnes and Noble. That was the main joy of going there. Of course, we would buy books occasionally, but it was mostly moving the homoerotic romance novels to the religious section, and moving the religious books to the homoerotic novels section, as well as moving Bibles into the atheistic literature section. So yeah, we were just, and God, those workers hated us. They would circle us like sharks. But anyway, I came home one day with a book about serial killers and Nietzsche, and it was the Antichrist. It was this book, The Antichrist, which is really just kind of a whole mess of ramblings. He wrote that when he was dying of syphilis, I guess. But yeah, my mom was asking me, what books did you buy? And I was like, yo, these. And she just like started crying. I don't think I have that book anymore. The serial killers one. It's not on my bookshelves. But the Antichrist still is. Not that I would ever really like read that again. But yeah, just a short little book. Kind of a mess of a book, really. Anyway. Yeah, but that's what, anyway, that's what being a teenager was like. You didn't have all this social media, you didn't have all this crap. Texting was just coming on, which was big. But like, yeah, it's just insane how online people are now and how that's affected their minds. Alright, I gotta catch up. A generation of manly men would have had none of that. Yeah, those kids would have got beat up and made fun of all the time for sure. Originally went cold turkey on carnivore. I had a major flare-up. I got diagnosed with UC. It got better instantly, and I've been experimenting with many different, American Evil is definitely perceived as cringe, yeah. Animal foods, it's been up and down, generally more manageable. Major thing I struggle with is bloody stool. Yeah, so the thing is if your stool, and you probably know this, if your stools are black, you have bleeding in the stomach, because it's happening in your stomach and it's going through your digestion. If you're bleeding and it's red, if you have blood in your stools and it's red, it means you have bleeding in your small intestine, your colon. Like I said, that's why I suggested the green cabbage juice, 4 ounces or so, every other day, every 3 days. Preppy kids, yeah, exactly. Could you elaborate on why you would add cabbage juice? Yeah, exactly. They'd help stop the bleeding. So that's why I mentioned the cabbage juice. And I said to stay away from other vegetable juices. This channel is all about the primal diet, and you should read the books by Ogenus, because they have a lot of good insights. In fact, there's a whole section on UC. You know what? I'm just going to get the book. The lighting is not good for that. All right, so in the book, you go to there's 2 parts to the book. This is the second part of the book. Okay? And ulcerative colitis. Ulcers. Intestinal and stomach ulcers. Drinking plenty of smoothies for 1 week and eating raw butter, unripe papaya, and other unripe fruit. No tomato or citrus. Binds toxins and revitalizes tissues. After 1 week following the regimen, detoxifies toxins that are stored in the stomach and intestinal membranes. Plenty of fresh, raw white cabbage juice and tomato purees. Some raw milk with raw eggs, unripe banana, plain kefir with a little unripe pineapple, plenty of butter and honey. Best results achieved by eating very little raw meat and no cooked meat or pasteurized milk for 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, the time it takes for ulcers to cleanse, close, and enter first stages of healing, eat plenty of raw meat with half a cup of white cabbage juice for 4 weeks. And alkalizing foods daily heals and strengthens mucous membranes. So, like I said, fish. I'm sorry, no. No fish. But I would say if you needed very little raw meat, fish would be the way to go. The cabbage juice helps soothe the intestines. It helps stop bleeding. The papaya custard is good. Bananas would be okay. Like, you could probably make a mixture of like papaya, banana, avocado. That would be good. Maybe a little mango. And make a custard out of that and eat that. Smoothies are eggs plus fruit. So that's like papaya and eggs. Cucumber and eggs. Stuff like that. And like I said, the butter and the honey. So yeah, there you go. That's page 318, ulcers. There you go. What's your general feeling about the recently released Epstein files? Okay, well, I hope, before I jump into that topic, P-Clam MC, I hope that helps. This is the book. It's online for free, basically. So, I mean, it's the internet. If you have like 3 brain cells, you can find and download this PDF online. You can also buy the hardcover book if you want. Whatever. I don't get any money from it, so I don't care what you do. So, oh yeah, let's show what I'm eating. What am I eating? So this is the maguro chiai from the Japanese market, which is the meat of the tuna that runs along the spine, full of blood vessels and veins. Very cheap, $1 a pound. This tuna is $1 a pound, guys. Exquisite $1 a pound tuna. This has been frozen, but I don't care because let me hold it up. There you go. Because it's so cheap. It's $1 a pound, and it's fish. It's not too bad. Frozen meat can be more detoxifying too, which I kind of like. It onset a detox last night, very short, but very quick, and it was very good. So I'm gonna keep eating more of this stuff. And yeah, the only thing I don't like is the plastic. The plastic wrap it comes in. So it is what it is. So you just can't escape that. But anyway, I've also got lube formula, which is butter, eggs, lemon, honey. All right. So It's disclosure. You know, they have disclosure. Wow, 5 views, 1 like. Thank you. 5 viewers, 1 like. Thank you, guys. Thank you for likes. Thank you for the views. So the Epstein stuff is disclosure, and a distraction. So, like, every time they release something in the news, it's distracting you, and it's just pulling your attention away. Like all the scamming stuff, all the scamming by those people. I don't want to say it. I don't want to get in trouble, but you all know who I'm talking about. That was pretty big news, and now they're releasing the Epstein stuff, more of that, to distract people, I think, from just the grift. Because it isn't just that one group of people. It's pretty much like every type of person, okay, in this country, who's coming into this country, who isn't American, right? When you're a refugee, all right, or you come in here on like some sort of visa, right? Refugees especially, and that's where most of this cadre of people came from, as refugees. You get 5 years, okay, at least 5 years of free everything. I'm talking housing assistance, okay, education assistance. They pay for your education, and they pay for language classes. Vehicle assistance. You got money for a car. You get utility assistance, internet, cell phone, gas, electric, water. You get food assistance. You get cash assistance, right? So when you come here into America as a refugee, you get all those assistance programs, okay? All of that money, right? It's like almost 6 figures worth of benefits, right? Every year. Each person gets that. And guess what? While you get these benefits, you can work a job. So you're getting your entire life paid for, and you get to have a job. And this doesn't even scratch the surface into these other programs people are taking advantage of. And it isn't just the daycares. It's trucking. It's no interest loans, or loans that can be forgiven for buying hotels and gas stations. And this other certain cadre of people, they are flipping over the loans and ownership to their cousins and other family members they bring into the country, so the loan moves to them and they never have to pay it back. The trucking is a big one. Lots of human trafficking and fraud in trucking. A lot of people who can't even read or speak English driving these massive weapons of mass destruction basically on our highways. Every week you read about some nice young American family getting killed because someone who doesn't know how to drive and speak English is on our roadways. And then let's talk about housing. So in addition to HUD housing and getting all that paid for, there's actually a special savings account that refugees, or even refugees. So there's programs. So if you're a refugee and you have a savings account full of money, there's nonprofits or government programs that will match the amount of money in your savings account for purchases, like of homes or businesses. So all these people get all this free money. They put it in a savings account. They save it up. And then they want to buy a business. They want to buy a home. They want to buy whatever. And then the government will match that money towards that purchase. Does the government do anything like that for American citizens? No. These people, even if they aren't citizens, can get something called an ITIN. So if you go to the IRS website and you can sign up to get an ITIN, or you do it at the bank, maybe. But anyway, you get this ITIN number, and then you can go to the bank and you can buy a house. You can get a mortgage and buy a house, even though you're not a citizen. And again, tons of nonprofits and NGOs all lining up, which get money from the government, by the way, to help get these people into housing. So That's why I think the Epstein files were released, because people are starting to figure out how bad they're getting screwed over. And it isn't just the Democrats or the Republicans, it's both of them. Both of them are profiting in one way or another from these programs, because all that money gets funneled back into donors, developers, NGOs, nonprofits, right? People's districts. Like it's just, in like those federal funds are appropriated to Congress people's or senators' districts, right? And they know where that money's going, and they can get their hands in there. So that's how that works. Everybody's getting paid. And by the way, nobody is going to go to jail for this. Absolutely nobody is going to go to jail for this. Mark my words. All this fraud happened, but it's not going to happen. Like, the FBI's in shambles. They have Kash Patel in there. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. And you know, it's incompetent. Maybe it's incompetence or malfeasance. It's either one of those two. But no one's going to get prosecuted for this. And if they do bring a case about this stuff, it's not going to happen while Trump's in office, right? It's going to be another 3-5 years. It's not even going to be a thing anymore. Like, they'll just forget about it. It'll get dropped. Charges will get dropped. Watch. No one's going to be held accountable for this. Everything is so bad. Everybody's getting robbed. Americans are getting robbed, and like, there's nothing you can do about it. If people people are just getting so fed up. So that's what this Epstein stuff is. It's a pressure release valve. Oh, look over here. You know. It's just so. It's so bad. It's almost so over. You know, we don't even have a country anymore. My favored CVID detox. I don't give that information away for free. Why not red meat or raw meat initially? Why are fruits that's still fibrous? My current diet is raw beef, raw yolks, cooked whites, raw marrow, and a little bit of high quality olive oil. Yeah, so the olive oil is just going to make your problem worse because it's a solvent. It's going to detox you. My audio is bugged out right now. What does that mean? Is my audio good right now? What does that mean? Hello? Let me check this. I'll have to pull it up on my phone. I used to have a mixer to check my... I used to have a mixer to check my sound. But I don't anymore. This is frustrating. Let's see here. But I don't anymore. This is frustrating. Okay. Test. Let me test this. Okay. Test. Okay, that's better. Okay, loud and clear. Audio's fine. Okay. I turned it down a little bit to balance it. There's a little too much buzz. Okay. Anyway. So so the olive oil is not good for you, P-Calm, right now. You don't need that. You need to eat the whole eggs. I don't know why you're cooking your whites. That's foolishness. Quit listening to people who don't even eat the diet, or a bunch of teenagers who regurgitate what a bunch of people who don't even eat the diet say. You need to be eating the whole raw eggs. Like I said, read the book. So, I mean, I'm not gonna. Okay, I'll paraphrase it. This guy, he ate, raw meat and raw foods and had over 20,000 clients, and he healed them. Many people with ulcerative colitis, and he wrote this book. So I think he knows what he's talking about. You could also just eat raw eggs, only raw eggs. You could try that. But, the papaya will be helpful. Papaya custard, the butter. The marrow's good. Marrow's fine. I wouldn't eat the olive oil, though, and I would switch to fish if I were you. Do I know Resident Raw? Not personally, no. For when the video on chronic derealization? I have to film it, but I think I have an outline of what I want to talk about. Interesting. I didn't think of it as a distraction, but you're right. Left ear only. Good audio. Your audio is fine. On my end, audio is fine. I hear left ear only as well. Why is that happening? Oh, is that... No, that's right, that's right. Let me see here. Huh? Hello? Okay, it's still one. Let me ask Google Gemini, actually. Using headphone jack mic. One channel is picking up, the other is not. Users report only left ear sound, no right ear sound. Only see one blue bar on the audio interface, not two. Alright, let's see what Google Gemini says. Okay, audio mixer, advanced audio properties. Okay. Advanced audio properties. There we go. Back to normal. Excellent. Somehow the mono was off. Yeah, you need to do the butter in marrow. The butter would be a little better than the marrow, but that was an A+ truth rant with questions about meat splattered in between. Background static, yep. Okay. Raw cheese. Yeah, so you're probably not actually eating raw cheese, and this is another video I have filmed. I'll give you a little sneak preview. If you're buying cheese in the store, it's not raw. Don't waste your money. But lucky for you, I have a herd share, and it's actually really amazing. $6 a pound for raw, no salt cheese. Real raw cheese that has not been heated, because cheese in the store is heated to a maximum of 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 1 degree lower than low temp pasteurization. Most cheeses are made between 110 degrees and 120 degrees. Nutrients start to degrade after 104 degrees. So just know that the cheese you're buying in the store is not actually raw, and there's salt in it. They're lying to you. So take that into account. The no salt cheese will actually be better for your intestines because salt will dry out your intestines. Salt will dry you out. I know this because I've gone years and years without salt. And if I have a little bit of salt, even if it's just in an occasional sushi or something, my stools are drier. And I have to drink more raw milk or eat more fats for it to not be so dry. So, yeah, cheese is great, but not from the store. I have sources in my school or in my herd share. You get a discount to sign up for the herd share. And the herd share is also fresh meat, organs, glands, blood, eggs even. He's got eggs now and milk. The best prices around. Very reliable and cheap shipping. So, if you're buying from Frankie's, if you're buying from Amos, you don't need to buy from them anymore and pay thousands of dollars. You can get better food, fresh, shipped directly to you. So you can join the school for that. But again, just like the CVID stuff, I don't give that stuff out for free anymore. Because really at the end of the day, maybe if you were a kid, but most people, you didn't have to take that, right? You made a choice to take that, and it hurt all of us in some ways. So I don't really have so much sympathy for those people. I know maybe that's a bit harsh, but I just don't have bandwidth for that. I don't have unlimited empathy. I'm not a saint. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm a frickin' chud. Okay? You could easily make a channel and discuss those topics. You'd probably get way more traction as well. Yeah, it's just I don't really want to be a political streamer, a current events streamer. It's pretty cringe. You have to deal with a very schizophrenic and or boomer fan base. I don't really want to deal with those people. I don't really, and I can talk about that kind of stuff, but the amount of time and effort I'd have to put in to do that, and like, what's my benefit? Like, what am I getting out of it? I don't know. Commission is closed. Please do not give out farmer info, especially to new gen. Go to start only buying every organ and do not value steaks, etc. There should be filter. Yeah, no, I know live bait. I I do that. That's what I do. That's why it's money to sign up. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, I ordered a bunch of stuff. He didn't have any brain, but I got, thyroid, pancreas, spleen. So I'm happy with that. Yeah. So, you know, um, yeah. I understand the frustration, though. I was kind of surprised he couldn't get any brain for me, but that's okay. I could use the other things even more, I think. So, yeah. Corn and soy free eggs versus conventional pasture raised. Um, so that's a bit of a oxymoron you got there. There's no such thing as conventional pasture raised because that doesn't really exist. Corn and soy free eggs are pasture raised eggs usually, but most people don't know any better and they still give their chickens soy. Corn is not a problem, the soy is a problem. Chickens can eat corn. Corn is a fruit. Chickens cannot eat soy. That's not good for them, especially if it's sprayed with a bunch of crap. So doesn't have enough quantity. Yes. Well, I think as he spins up, he'll be able to do that. He'll be able to accommodate people. True, it can be cringe, but it depends on your approach. Yes. I mean, obviously my approach would be very good, but it's just a lot of you know, it's just a lot of crap. It's just a lot of crap to do. And honestly, there really isn't. It's very saturated, right? It's very saturated. Yeah, no, I'm definitely talented and capable, but I just don't know if it would produce the results. You know, it's like I said, it's a very saturated thing. So I don't really want to try to be a small fish in a big pond. You know what I'm saying? Wasting time on G when I could be going mainstream. You should make the most schizo thumbnails for your YouTube, like eyes popping out with surprised faces. No, I actually like that. If I had more editing skills, I probably would do that. Maybe I will do more schizo thumbnails. That could be fun. Because thumbnails is just about grabbing attention, so I like to have fun with it. If I have a vision, I try to execute my vision. So, you know, I just haven't had as much time as I would like to really get into the work of building those thumbnails. Um, so, yeah, that's pretty much it. If I had more time to spend, like if I could spend a whole day on a thumbnail, sure, but I can spend maybe 30, 45 minutes on a thumbnail. Maybe tops. That's like the most I'm willing to spend on a thumbnail, to be honest. So, you know, yeah, but yeah, man, being a cultural commentator, streamer, it's so. I probably have to do it on TikTok. That would be the way I would try to capture it. I would just start a TikTok account, and if it took off, then I would create other accounts. You know, maybe I will. I don't know. I've got a nice new phone with a nice camera. So yeah, I don't know what else is up, guys. Yeah, we kind of piddled out there. It's kind of like, yeah. A good take is a good take. It can be borderline artistic. That's true. I mean, what has Sam Hyde been doing for the past 10 years other than commentating? Yeah, that's true. But he's had an audience. It's different when you're trying to build up an audience. Like I said, Sam Hyde is a big fish in a big pond. And I would be a small fish in a big pond, competing with the Sam Hydes, the Nick Fuentes, all those people who are popular among the youth, the Sneakos, the whoever's, whatever, those streamers, the Asmogolds. So it's, and I don't think you appreciate like just how much time they had to put in to get to where they are. So yeah, but I mean, really, at the end of the day, just talking about that kind of stuff doesn't do anything. It's like most people who would be tuned in are already smart enough to understand and know what's going on. They don't need me to tell them. And people who are not smart enough to understand, like, yeah. Might watch a Kami Ga Kill, haven't seen it, or Berserk, haven't seen that either. Naruto Shippuden. Yeah. Shippuden's fine, too much filler though. I just would skip all the filler. I get more nostalgia from the OG Naruto, and I actually think it's a little bit better than Shippuden. Um, what is a Kami Ga Kill? Um, hmm. Okay. Yeah, that looks alright. Berserk is great. I mean, the 1997 Berserk is really good. Some people say the art style's bad, but I don't know. I like the hand drawn animation. It really captures a vibe and gives nostalgia. And the story is exactly like the manga, so it's like exactly the same. It's really good. Yeah, Berserk's crazy. Hopefully, it's not spoiled for you. It wasn't spoiled for me, and I was like, whoa, it got really dark. It gets really dark. This is a quote from the Kaleidos section. I mean, you said you were having problems, so I don't know. if it's helping you. Isn't colitis different than ulcers? Ulcerative colitis is maybe a little different. Ugh. And it says butter and or olive oil. The butter would be better. Eggs and unripe pineapple. So, yeah. Yeah, Old Berserk's good. EKY and Jackass could not be made today, right? Five viewers, 3 likes. Okay. Thank you. Well, at least you went and looked up the book. Now you can read the book. Answer all your questions. Here you go. Because I haven't had colitis, so I mean, I've had. Well, I don't know if the client actually ended up having colitis. He went to a bunch of doctors and they told him he had Lyme disease. I don't know if he actually has that or whatever, but we'll see. But I'm going to play some Civ in the background. I'm not going to play it on the screen, though, because everybody's going to be like, why are you playing video games? It's like, well, because I'm bored, and this, you know, this is my life, dude. A large map? We're going to go with a large map. Who's got the science? I don't really like the leaders, though. It's like, I don't really want to play as a girl. Greek. Oasis reunited in a touring last year was nowhere near, especially because of the impending doom of society. Yeah. Yeah, England's dying. That's why they brought him back. Yeah. Hmm. Imagine singing along to Oasis in a stadium while you and your country is being replaced and destroyed. Yeah, pretty much. Hmm. 8 o'clock. Okay. I might go to bed early tonight, man. Goodness gracious. Yeah. It's quite a... Yeah. You and I are going to live forever. It's dark. It's dark. Yeah, I mean, because it's like they got money to do it. So it's like, who paid them money? It was probably like, the elites. We're like, hey, we need you to go on tour again to make the lads happy. Yeah, something like that. 9 viewers. Oh, 5 viewers. Back down then from 9 to 5. We spiked, and then 6 viewers. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for the likes, everybody. Wow. 3 likes. Wow. Amazing. More like replaced forever. Yeah. Oh. I gotta say, I've been putting this mignonette sauce on the tuna. It's very good. I've actually been putting it on all my meats. Chicken, it's really good on white meats. It's better on white meats than red meats. But it's really nice. The vinegar with the shallots and the pepper is a really nice combination. I'm a big fan. It's very nice. And yeah, it's tasty. I can't believe I never thought about this or even saw this. Of course, I would go look in the cooler where they keep the fish. I guess I just was never lucky to find it. So I've just been making an effort to go there when I need meat, and I get happy. I find it. It's there. What a deal! $1 a pound. The salmon. It's the salmon. They have salmon. It's like salmon arami or whatever, and it's the same thing basically. $1 a pound. No one buys it. 50% off. No one buys it. It's crazy. I can't believe it. Some people are crazy. And it's like you're cooking it too, so you can slow cook it, make it tender. Most of this is not very veiny either. So, big win for me. What did I get? Like 6-7 pounds for $9. Okay, thanks, Bill. Yeah, apple cider vinegar. I use apple cider vinegar, shallots, and a mixture of white and black peppercorns. Put it in a jar and let it sit for like at least 3-4 days, and then in the fridge. And the flavors meld together from the vinegar and the shallots and the peppercorns. It's really good. So, it's traditionally used for oysters and seafood. But I started putting it on my white meat because I wanted a little something extra, a little something else, a little something to, wet my palate, excite my palate. So I said, well, I'm just going to try this. You don't want to use too much on meat. You don't want to use too much vinegar on meat, though. Like a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons for like a pound, maybe, is like enough. So, yeah. But it's real good. You think Odgenus recommends who? I wouldn't add butter to the mignonette sauce. That wouldn't be a good idea. I mean, keep the mignonette sauce separate, but you can add that to butter. But I wouldn't put butter in the sauce, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so the unripe fruits help. They help cleanse. Fruits are cleansers, so they help cleanse. That's why he recommends them. Something like a cucumber would be less cleansing and more soothing. So, yeah. Have I had it with butter? No, I haven't. I haven't been eating much butter recently. That's why I had a lube formula today. So, I wanted to have a little more butter. I don't understand how they are cleansing. Well, that's what fruits do. They ferment in your gut and they cleanse. The fruits ferment into alcohol in your gut, and then that's used to dissolve things in the body, especially if they're sweeter. The more sweet, the more alcohol. That's why he recommends unripe fruit. So, yeah. Oopsie daisy. All right. 3 viewers. I'm going to fire up the gaming now. Because the viewership has dropped. So. Okay. I mean, you're going through a detox right now, so, you know. And I've been doing it 8 years. And detoxes are real. It's not just a buzzword. So. Yes, well. You know, some people, they say Augenis was always right. I don't agree with Augenis on everything. I don't think he was right about everything. But, you know, he was right about a lot of things with the diet, that's for sure. And I know that because I've been doing it for, you know, like I said, 8 years, so. Kind of, yeah. Yep. Have a good night. Not a single village. Wow.
Oh, farmers, pray that your summers be wet and your winters clear.
Nice. 2 viewers, 5 likes. Amazing. Oh, we need to catch up with this guy. Why didn't you? Oh my god, dude. What's up, John Doe? Thoughts on the Jeffrey Fire release? Yeah, we actually just talked about this. And yeah, so it's just a distraction from all the fraud that's going on. You know, to like make people forget about it. There's a certain amount of disclosure required in these circles of whatever's going on at the powers that be decide. But it is what it is. Um, some interesting stuff in there for sure. Yeah, we're gonna go down here. What fraud? Oh, all the daycare stuff, and it isn't just daycare stuff. It's trucking companies, it's hotels and gas stations. There's so much fraud going on everywhere. Like, it's terrible, honestly. So, you know, yeah. Epstein is still alive in Israel. Yeah, probably. Maybe he isn't even in Israel. You know. Yeah. Nah. They switched his body out. So there was a post someone made about that debacle on 4chan, and he described exactly what happened because he was there. And the government actually subpoenaed the they subpoenaed the website to find out who posted it, and they found out it was the guy who was the Robert something was his name, was the actual security guard. So it was confirmed that that person was, you know, who he says he was. Yeah, I mean, the dude was connected to the Trilateral Commission and all this other stuff. You think he couldn't do a little switcheroo there? And all the cameras went down when it happened? I mean, come on. Like, come on. For real. Like, just come on. Yeah. crazy, I know. As far as what they eat, I don't know. I can't really comment on that. Yeah, like I said, I can't really comment on that. I don't know.
True glory consists in doing what deserves to be written, in writing what deserves to be read.
Definitely some weird stuff going on, but, I don't know. They seem to eat a lot of pizza, I think. Whatever that means. Five viewers, 6 likes. Awesome. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Actually, I need mining, actually. We need to research mining. Or we did we? Oh, I guess we did. Oh, worker, okay.
It is from their foes, not their friends, that cities learn the lesson of building high walls.
They eat cooked food with the luxury stuff. 6 to 7 likes now. Awesome. Thank you, MB Wild. That's great. 6-7. 6-7 in the chat. Let's go. That's what we like to see here. Yes. So I'm just hanging out, taking questions, chatting. We're talking about the Epstein files. That's some crazy stuff, isn't it? Yeah. Not really quite sure what to think about that. It's like I said, it's just a distraction from everything else that was going on. There's no luxury in cooked foods. I don't know, man. If you have a palate for them, there sure is.
Nature herself has imprinted on the minds of all.
There's cooked foods I miss. I'm man enough to admit. So, caviar, maybe. Caviar isn't cooked. Cooked foods can be good if it doesn't have seed oils and stuff. True. Can be tasty. I'm trying to think here. I mean, when I think of cooked foods, I don't really think of like I don't know. I think of like kind of comfort food when I think of cooked foods. I'm having trouble envisioning a luxurious dish I would enjoy. Sukiyaki, a Philly cheesesteak, chili dog. I've talked about this on stream at least 5 times before, you know. But yeah, seed oils make food. They make food taste good, and they're good for texture and things sometimes, but they just make you feel bad. So
Not at all similar are the race of the
that goes a long way.
and the race of
It's been a long time since I've eaten that stuff, though. I'd have a hard time thinking about like what I would even do. Let's take him and go. Here, maybe? Let's do... worker. Sadly, I cheat a lot in this diet. That's okay. Don't be hard on yourself, man. It's alright. It's just the diet. You know, as long as you're eating mostly good. Do I cheat? No, I don't. A Philly cheesesteak would be kind of bussin', though. I would need to eat a lot of... I would need to drink a lot of milk to offset the gastrointestinal curmudgeon that would be. It would be quite a problem. It would be quite a problem. If I ate a Philly cheesesteak, it'd be crazy, bro. Yeah, you can just skip turn. But yeah, chili cheese dogs, Philly cheesesteak, beef curry with the katsudon. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff is fire. Beef stroganoff. Yeah, I still can't even think of like luxurious cooked food.
I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods.
I'm trying to think. I can't think. Raw milk is so calming. Yeah, I wish the store. I wish the milk at the store was raw too, man. That'd be pretty dope. Be tasty. Who's this? Ew. Ew. Looks like we're gonna go to war. I need to send you over here, actually. An archer, one archer. Okay. Ain't happening. Excellent Health said Augustus was wrong about most things. Huh. That's kind of a dumb statement. Very silly. Very silly indeed. Yeah, he just knows what Jack Cruz said. Advice for itchy scalp and dandruff. Yes. You need more raw fats in your diet. You could also, and this is something I've been experimenting with, is onion juice in your hair. Onion juice in your hair, it's really good for your hair and it's really good for your scalp. Um, I would recommend doing it once a week, once or twice a week even. And for your itchy scalp, if your hair is short, applying raw fats to the skin is easy, but if your hair is longer, it's not so easy. It is what it is. But getting more fats in your diet will also be good. So, yeah. Draft. Okay. Cook the fat of meat to use it properly. I don't know. Derek Nance, he does the raw diet. He's an okay guy. I mean, I don't know much about him, but he's been on the diet a long time. It seems like, um, you know. So yeah, Derek Nance. I don't think he says to cook anything. He's not a cook guy. He's a raw guy. So interesting. Only inches at night. Probably detox. My fat is suet and pork leaf fat mostly. Yeah. Look at my question. How do I decrystallize unneeded honey? Yeah, you have to do heat. I have not done something like that before because I just let it be crystallized. I don't think there's a problem with it. It crystallized honey. Actually, if honey crystallizes, it's better for you. So, yeah, it's a better honey. I mean, constructed walls. Let's just do another warrior. Gotta declare war quick. So I think cooked meat is easier to eat though. When I eat too much raw, I get like a fever state for 1 to 2 days, especially with suet too. Yeah, the suet might be hard to digest. It just depends on your gut because you may or may not have a good situation going on there, and it takes some time. Although raw is always easier to digest, but you know maybe you have some other things going on down there that make it a little different. I don't know. So. I'm trying to boil ya. Alright, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm about to declare war on Cyrus here. Let's just get something else. Yes. Okay, so those guys are going to move in last. These guys are moving in first. Oh yeah, we're going to take out the worker. And we're going to send you back here. We're going to send you guys in here. Many units. A settler. Great. We need to build. Let's build. Why is everything taking so long here? I don't understand. Oh, because I don't have a lot of people. That's right. Walls. Let's just go. Here. And yes. Interestingly, only just at night. For real, it tasted a bit better, but it clumps up more compared when it's liquid. A limited supply. Yeah. So if you're using it in recipes, yeah, you're gonna want to keep it, you know, like in a liquid form, or you're gonna have to melt it down. But like, you know, it is what it is. So. Damn. Come on. Are you serious? This is ridiculous. 2 archers did all that. Gold, nice. Mm. Let's see here. We're just gonna. Go there then. Okay. Honeycomb and crystallized honey, what's more beneficial? Honeycomb is more beneficial. So, for sure. I need another archer. Finish the walls. Are we 10 turns yet? Shit. Damn it. I use it for milkshakes and lube. Yeah, that sounds right.
Increase of thy time and the flocks of thy sheep.
Did they destroy it? No, they didn't. There's hope. I will retake. Honeycomb's really good. I ate that a lot with grapefruit and cream. I really liked that. That was yummy.
You should hammer your iron when it is glowing hot.
I need. There we go. Milkshakes are good. Yeah. happening? What else is going on? Let me know.
Them that take the sword shall perish by the sword.
I need some units here. Nice. Archer. Oh no, he's got spearmen? Why does everyone have to do this around me? It's so frustrating. Oh, I can't. Let's rip the science.
If in other sciences we should arrive at certainty without doubt and truth without error, it behooves us to place the foundations of knowledge in mathematics.
I should have, that's what I should have done. Oh well. Honey is good. Honey is really tasty. Fall honey's the best. Summer honey can get a little bit too hot. Um, yeah, so.
A nod from the machine.
Construction. I just need to train a few units and I can get everybody back. Hit them with the catapults. No. Can I get technology? No, can't. Hmm. Shit. How to adequate amount of iodine? Clams. Clams are good. Clams, any shellfish really. Milk is good. So, I've been doing kelp tea, cold brewed kelp tea. Get some kelp, put it in water, leave it, and
Look on my worst
yeah.
and despair.
Let's see the big picture. I need okay, we'll do that. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not trading peace with you. I want my city back. Farewell. can't do it. Catapults, let's go. No way. What? Why can't I work on the Colossus? This is outrageous. You cereal? For Primal Diet Conference, do you bring a tent for sleeping? Yes, you can. We also have a little house we rent. Well, a couple houses we rent actually. So, there's options for sure. So there's options, you know. But yeah, tent or house sleeping. You can sleep on the floor. There's beds. So it just depends. No way. No. All right, this is the comeback. No. I might just quit this game. I might just rage quit, honestly. 10 is good for me. Yeah, it's cheaper too. I mean, the house is it's not expensive, but it's just another just costs more money, you know. All right, I'm rage quitting. We're rage quitting. I need to fix this. Rage quitting. I should have waited to get up my army before I made my move. I was a little too. I never tried to declare war that early before, so bit of a learning experience. Nine likes, 2 viewers, awesome. Thanks for hanging out. We are just chilling. What is it? 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Yeah, I might watch some anime and go to bed. Do I have a girlfriend? No. I'm a Sigma. I'm a Sigma male. So no, I don't. Um, yeah. Oh, of course I've had girlfriends. Yeah. It's just not really. I mean, I don't want to say it's not worth it, but let's just say it's not good to just have a girlfriend. You should get married. And I'm not really in a place to get married. I haven't found a woman who inspired me to risk losing half of everything. So, you know, um, the thing is once you are more accustomed to doing your own thing and being alone, that is just kind of the default, and it's hard to make adjustments to your life unless you really want to for someone. But to to do this courtship, to have someone in my life all the time and basically share a life with somebody, that's not really not really appealing to me at the moment. Um, I'm not at this point. I'm not a, like a partner provider type, I guess you could say. I'm self-involved, and what I'm working on is very selfish. I don't have a lot of time, you know, to build a relationship, let alone find one. I mean, the dating app stuff is just ridiculous. I'm not doing that. I don't really go to many places. I work a lot, so it's hard to get in proximity of someone who would even be like interested in marriage, So that's just the way it is with the older generation. No people. There's no third spaces really, unless you go to church. Sporting stuff is not really, you know. I guess when I say sporting stuff, I mean like if I was going to get involved with sports, it'd be martial arts or something, and there's not a lot of women in that. I don't really go to church, so there's that, and yeah, I'm just getting older and more set in my ways. So, you know, um, but like I said, it's not good to lead a girl on or just like dangle the prospect of marriage or not even entertain the prospect of marriage. It's kind of like, what are you doing? Like, you should be, involved with somebody to start a life together, and that's not really what I just can't see myself doing that. I also think it's really strange that people can get married like in 6 months or a year of just knowing each other. And for me, I feel like, I mean, I guess when it's the right person, it's the right person, and maybe that's why they can do that. But I haven't met somebody in my life, a woman who was like, oh, yes, I could see myself, spending the entirety of my life with this person and trusting them with everything and being able to just take half of my assets for like a number of years through alimony. And yeah, I haven't met anybody who's given me the confidence of like, yeah, I can trust this person and I actually want to be around them, that much. So, of course, maybe I could find someone who's, you know, we can be around each other half the time. Have separate, not living arrangements, but just separate parts of the house, so to speak, and enjoy each other's company, have kids, but not be so, But I don't know. I feel like that can't be that good for the kids if you're not truly in love with your spouse. That does not set a good. That doesn't really set a good blueprint for them. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. But that's it. That's about me. That's a little about me. It's a little awkward. It's a little. I don't know. Some people might say depressing, but I'm certainly not depressed about it. Because I'm in an age where I've seen friends go through divorce, get married young, and get divorced, and that's tough. Most of them, it's okay. It was a pretty clean cut, clean divorce. They moved on and got remarried. Hey. But a few people had a really bad time, especially when kids are in the mix. Makes things really complicated, so, you know. What are you going to do? It's definitely the thing. That love is definitely the thing to do when you're young, because you're around so many young people, school, college, whatever, and social things, and you can really find someone, and you're young, you're full of hope and vigor for the future, and you're not kind of old and maybe a little cynical. So, yeah, that's my take. So, Yep. So I hope that was interesting enough. I cringe now when I see people have children. Why do you cringe? That's not. Why do you cringe when people have children? That's weird. Hold on. I need to turn these lights off. I think I scared some people with my take. That's just my honest take. I mean, if you marry the wrong person, if you get involved with the wrong people, it can ruin your life. If you get married to the wrong person, it will they'll be like cement shoes that will drag you to the bottom of the abyss. And bottom feeders will pick at your body, at your bones and your muscles slowly over time. It's a mistake for this world. You know, they call it the gift of life for a reason. And I was talking to my dad about that. He used to feel that way, but he's really glad he had kids. But I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but we're pretty great and everything. So, you know, of course there's that. But I look around at the world and I'm kind of like, well, this is a very, this is quite an interesting situation to birth me into. Have I ever met primal women? Yeah, lots of times. There's a lot of them at the Primal Diet Conference, actually. Very, very broad demographic. We have younger women who are just like in college. We have women in their late 20s and 30s, and I have women in their 40s, and even elderly women. So there's something for everybody. But yes, I have. I'm not necessarily uh, committed to having a relationship with someone who is on the diet. I think I think having a relationship with someone who's on a diet, like that being one of the defining factors, is not. I don't think that's like necessary or even maybe that good. Um, and now maybe it's just because they're e-girls, but I tend to not trust women with a social media presence. Doesn't matter what kind of diet they're on or not, or if it's religious or not, like a religious. I just don't trust. I'm yeah. So not my first choice. That's people's exposure to women. I mean, there are women out there who do eat the raw foods, and that's great. But just because you're a woman and you eat raw foods doesn't make you a good life partner. Just like me being a man who eats raw foods does not make me a good life partner. I'm not. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. I feel like if someone really cares about you and loves you, it won't matter what you eat. Just got an ad now for a shingles injection. Locked up for climbing a tree. Yeah, even the fact alone that I know this human baby will have to grow up. Yeah, no, I feel you. When I see kids, they're always so happy and they're full of joy. They have that spark. They have that, joy, I guess, of life. And you look at them and you're like, you look around at the people, the adults, and everybody was a kid once. Everybody was a baby once. Everybody was some mother's baby. And it does break your heart to think about it sometimes like that, because you look at so many people. Many people didn't dream to work in an office. They didn't dream to work, doing all kinds of things. And it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy of the human condition. It's sad. And I guess what I hear from some parents, though, is they wish their kids were happy. A lot of they don't really care like how successful they are or whatever. They just want to see them happy. And I mean, does that really happen that much? How much does that happen? I don't know. So it's sad. It's sad. So it's because it's like, you have this wonderful gift, this child with unbound creativity, kindness, and that may be shattered someday. If you got an injection tomorrow, what would be the quickest to detox it? Well, injections can take anywhere from like a couple years to 20 years to get out of your body, so there is no quick way. There is no quick way. Just do the diet, maybe moldy berries. It depends, man. It's, just read the books. Like, a lot of people ask these questions, and like, I know, I'm here. I say yes. Ask questions. I'm here for questions, but it's like, it's some real basic stuff. Like, just read the books. You gotta cheese. I don't really think cheese is the silver bullet people claim, honestly, because it seems like whatever, some people, they're just selling cheese, so of course they're going to talk about it a certain way. Um, I think cheese is helpful, but I don't think it's a silver bullet, honestly. Don't you think fermented shellfish are the fastest way to detox? You know, there's a lot of ways to detox very fast. It could be any fermented foods. It really just depends on the person, because different fermented foods will make people feel differently, right? Because of the way their bodies are, the way what they have in their bodies. So that's the way I see it. I think it can be helpful, but it depends on the person. Yeah. So, mm-hmm. That's a bummer. I mean, all things considered, what's one more shot when you've already had 50, 40, 30? Sometimes people have 60 or 70. My count's like 48, I think. 48, 50, something like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm never gonna get all those out of my body in my whole lifetime. It would take me it would take me 3 or 4 lifetimes to get it all. You can detox without the bath. It's just slower. You're always detoxing, you know. It's just doing this diet gives you more fats and energy to deal with it. He never completely detoxed his forced injection. So I think it was like towards the last 2, 3 years of his life. So he never got it all out. There's no way. When I was 16, the doctor's office and the nurse told me it was time for a TB test. Oh, yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I would never do one of those. It's kind of scary because depending on the state you're in, they can quarantine you and stuff. No. People born before the 90s had way less injections because the schedule changed. The schedule changed from like um, 11 shots to 30 something shots, and then it's like even more now. So there's more injections now than ever. Like, you know, he really didn't have that many. So, thoughts on Resident Raw? Not really, man. I don't really pay attention to other people in this space. I know he disappeared. He came back, though, didn't he? It was kind of weird. A lot of people, not a lot, but someone was messaging me and said he was like murdered. I was like, no, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. And it was obviously not true, but it's just insane. So the the stories people make up, but yeah, no, I don't. I don't really watch other, like I said, I don't really watch other people who do this kind of content because, like, I've been living it for 8 years, okay, and I read the books every year, so there really isn't anything that interests me for the most part in other health channels or people. Sometimes something like this onion juice on the scalp. I've had folliculitis for quite a while, and I'm kind of like, what is this? And I was looking at onion juice. I'm like, okay, maybe a little smelly, but I don't care. It just smells like onion. It's not bad. It's onion. And I tried it a couple weeks ago, and I was really impressed with how it made my hair look, and it really helped my scalp. I tried some today. I tried mixing it with a little water, but it just made it kind of gumpy, like gunky, and I still used it in my hair, but now I'm like scraping out dried onion. But it makes my hair look really nice. It makes your hair look really nice, I will say. Like very, like a nice sheen. Like it makes your hair look great. So that's something I learned. But that was just from a TikTok. It wasn't from like I don't even know whose channel it was. So it's little stuff like that I might try or pay attention to. Tetanus infusions and was a young child and got so many shots because of his brother pushing him with rusty nails. Yeah, you have to remember Augenis was an actor. He was a drama guy. Augenis was a thespian. So Augenis used to exaggerate a lot, in my opinion. Not that there's anything wrong with selling your story and stuff, but I really doubt he had more than 30 vaccines his whole life, honestly. There's no way. I don't, because, yeah, there weren't that many injections back then. It was there was like maybe 6 or 7. There were maybe like 6 or 7 injections you would get back in the day. And this exploded in after the 70s because he became health conscious in 1970. He started eating raw foods in 1972, I think. So 50 years ago, let me check. Let me ax the 1970. How many injections were available? Okay, yeah. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4. There were only 4, 5, 6, 7. There were only 7 injections. There were only 7 injections. 6 type of injections back in the day. So there's no way he had that many. Like compared to what, your average kid today had more than Augenis ever did in his life. So how do you know? Yes, your medical file. Just search up your medical file. Go to wherever you went to the doctor last, and they'll have your whole medical file, and you can request a copy. So, yeah. Yeah, that's not too bad. The more kids went to the doctor, the more that stuff they got. So, the less you went to the doctor, the better. Nice. That's good. Longer without them, the better. You really don't need them. The healthiest people, in fact, the kindest, most chill, smartest people I know have never had one. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. It is cray cray. It is cray cray. Oh, I know Europe does less injections. I know for sure they do. It depends on the country, though. I know, like in Italy, there's very few, like very very few. But in other nations, there's more. Like in Germany, there might be more. It depends. So, yeah. But overall, less. Yes, for sure. Oh, Germany? Yeah. Well, that's why you haven't had that many. That's no surprise there. No surprise. That is more what your total was though. 10 or 7 with the boosters. That is more than like somewhere like Italy. From what I've talked to a few people there. But again, it really just depends on how much you get into the doctor. Because the more you get into the doctor, the more they're going to try to give you stuff. Because that's how they make more money. So, or they're just like really dumb and brainwashed into thinking that makes you healthier, and they think they're doing a good thing, but they're not. What? $15. That's not too bad. Is it Epstein behind this? Um, no. No, not at all. Trump made a public statement about low autism rates in Amish people. Yes. Um, Funny enough, though, Trump and his first wife divorced because she did not want to give their baby an injection, but he did because Trump is a germaphobe, and that's why they divorced because his kid got sick or whatever because of the injection. The doctor forced you to do it. Yep, many such cases. That's what they do. They're bullies. Medical terrorists. That's what they are. Terrorism. Terrorists. It's medical terrorists. Terrorists. You know, my Bush accent going there. Oh boy, remember the days of George Bush? Well, you probably don't, but I do. Back when we still had a country. uh, Never heard of what? George Bush? Medical terrorists? That was an Augenus. He talked about medical terrorists. I've never met anybody more stupid than a doctor. I've met more people stupid than a doctor before. But, yeah. Hmm. Well, yeah. Oh, the Trump story, yeah. Well, that's why you come here with these. That's why you come here to me for the scoops, the inside scoops and the wisdom. Excuse me. Hmm. What brand is my red light? I don't know. I bought it from Amazon. No, I bought it from the hardware store. It was just a 250-watt incandescent red light. Um, no, there are mercury in injections. There used to be mercury, and then they changed it to thimerosal, and then they got rid of the thimerosal in some. It's different for each of the types of injections. So, first time raw liver was weirdly very sweet. Yes, liver can be pretty sweet. I don't know that I would describe liver as sweet, but maybe that's just because I have a sweet tooth, and for me to qualify something as sweet, it has to be like actually sweet, like honey or sugar cane. I would say liver has a I guess a sweet taste isn't a bad way to say it, but it's not sweet like sugar or honey. I don't know if there's a word between mild and sweet that would work better. Frozen liver, that's okay. It's it's not the best, but you know, for organs and glands, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Oh, thoughts on circumcision? Pff, man, what a crazy. It's a crazy thing how they hoodwinked several generations of people to mutilate their perfectly healthy babies for profit and to create a bunch of trauma inflicted mind control slaves. That's what circumcision is. It's trauma based mind control programming. I'm starting to think high sugar is required in my diet to lower cortisol. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of go back and forth between. Well, I come from Italy. I mean, my bloodline comes from Italy mostly, so I sometimes think if I need pasta just so I don't, you know, yell at a bunch of people like an Italian does. But my mood and patience has gotten better on the diet, eating the fats. So I don't know, but because I do have some hair thinning, which I think is really related to cortisol, maybe stress. Um, but I was also reading DHT and aldosterone. Aldosterone is produced by the kidneys, the adrenal glands, if you're low in sodium. So, um, you know, maybe a couple factors in there. And the hair follicles just go dormant, so you can turn them back on. I buy my meat fat frozen. I think that's not as big a deal as the other meat. Uh, uh the fat, yeah, because there isn't a lot of water in fat, so it's probably better than the meat, but it's still not great. Benefits of ketosis? I have no idea. I don't really do ketosis. It's not really what the primal diet's about, so. What's my testosterone levels? I have no idea. I haven't been to the doctor in like 6 years. So, I'm not really interested in getting my T levels checked. I know enough that I don't have low testosterone. I'll just say that. You know, I wake up every morning, and I know I wake up every morning. Let's say that. You know, um, I'm not. I don't really have any of the symptoms of low testosterone. So, dry fermented raw sausages. I would eat them with some honey because if it's dry meat, it's losing enzymes. You want to eat that with some honey. Testosterone levels on palate is sort of dumb. I might be interested in seeing my T levels, my DHT levels, my aldosterone levels, cortisol levels. Yeah, also sausages can't have salt. You can make sausages without salt, but although typically if you're doing dry fermented raw sausages, those probably have salt in them because the salt will help with the drying, and that's how you get like a pepperoni, a salami. That's basically what that is. Of course, they're cured, so smoked or whatever, so they're not technically raw, but someone commented from Tuscany, they actually consume raw pork sausage, and he gave me the recipe for it. It was like oregano, sage, pepper, some salt, something else, maybe clove, and they grind all the meat and everything, and they put it in the casing, and they have the raw sausages. Rabbit sausage, so good. I bet it was. I can't eat bunnies. I'm a friend of the bunnies and the ducks. I will not eat them because they're too cute. So, German and Turkish sausages can be made raw. How about that? Yeah, as long as I don't have salt, you're good. I mean, a little bit of salt's not going to kill you. Obviously, it's not part of the diet, but um, you know, I don't do well with salt. Even if I have small amounts, I notice it and I don't like it. It dries me out, my insides. No smoking, but most like to cook them anyway. Yeah, and that's, cooking food's pretty common. We know this. We know this. 9 likes? Wow, 3 viewers. 5 viewers? Wow, thanks, guys. How are you? Thanks for stopping by, saying what's up. I got onion in my hair. Well, I put it there, so. When I first went to Audrey's was 15, my grandma would buy me 1 pound of raw sausage a week. I rationed that thing for the whole week. It was amazing. Yeah, that sounds good. Based grandma. If I only have access to San Pellegrino water, is it still a good option? If you shake out the carbonation of San Pellegrino, it's fine. The carbonation is what's artificial. The carbonation is what's artificial, and you should shake it out. Again, if you drink it, not the end of the world, but it's artificial CO2. And you can just shake the bottle, shake the bottle, shake the bottle. And then, let it air out, and then close it up again, and shake it again, and then open it. Or you put it in a glass and stir it with a spoon. You can do that. Let the CO2 come out. So yeah, Bajormi's good, Borsec is good, Gerolsteiner's good, yeah. Sausages to go. Sausage is good, yeah. I miss a good sausage, honestly. I miss a good sausage. Yeah, that was one of the... We were talking about cooked foods earlier. That was one of the cooked foods I liked. Sausage. I get the Italian sausage, the sweet sausage. Some peppers and onions on a nice roll. Some cheese. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I'm allergic to salt. Interesting. I was not allergic to salt, but I was never a salt person. I never really liked salty things, salty foods. The less salt, the better. I did not like to eat salty things. The only salty thing I liked to eat was chips. And sometimes chips would be a little too salty for me. I really liked salt and vinegar chips. I think the vinegar helped balance out the salt. Thoughts on weed? Drugs are bad. They mess with your mind. If obviously, if you need cannabis for pain relief medicinally, that's one thing. But this idea of doing it recreationally is good or not harmful, even if it's raw, is ridiculous. If you're older and you have plates and screws in your body, or something's really messed up with you, and you need pain relief, and your options are the doctor's going to give you opioids, or you can have a bunch of surgeries that may not even work. Obviously the cannabis is the move, because the primal diet is helpful, but it's not going to help severe pain, especially if you have hardware in your body and you're really messed up, So, in those circumstances, I think it's okay. I don't think it's great, but I think it's okay. So, I don't think young people should be doing cannabis. Don't most of these water brands filter the water, though? No, it's not. No, they don't. Gerolsteiner, Borjomi, Borsec are the good ones. Sausages are good since they are raw and easy to eat for most non-raws, I guess. So you're not getting the bacteria benefit. Weed is goynip. Oh, that's a new one. That's funny. That's a good one. Yeah. If you want real bacteria from water, get spring water, get well water. It's not hard to find. If you go to farms, just ask the farmer. Shem says he used to do weed and is cooked with heavy metals now. Yeah, that's too bad, but it happens. You'll get over it. What do you think about uncooked wine? So all wine is raw, I'm pretty sure. So you need to find like biodynamic, beyond organic wine. That's the good stuff. No sulfates. Marijuana is a very emasculating drug for men, and it turns their brains into mush, makes them become total smelly, lazy loser slobs. Yeah, it can. I've seen it. I've seen that do that to people. Um, I've also met people who that never happened to. So it's I think it's one of those things where it just brings out whatever is in you, you know, like it's alcohol or whatever. Um, Greed. I mean, you can apply it to anything, metaphysically speaking. You know, what are you taking in and doing that is bringing out a part of yourself that maybe is good or not good. If you're going to use cannabis, use it in a vaporizer the ancient Greeks used to. That's probably a little better than smoking, but definitely the way to use it is to eat it, because I think that will help your body absorb it more, especially for pain, which is really the only reason you should be taking it if you have pain or something. So, you know, in my opinion, and even vaporizing is not really good for you. Eating it would be the least damaging way, because the vaporizing is still hot, right? You're vapor. It's hot vapor. You're inhaling it. So the best way to do it would be to eat it, cook with it, and eat it. Why does Scott Hall Jr. do weed and he's on primal? It probably has a problem. You know, some people who can't stop something, it's a problem. Um, especially drugs. People do these things because they have a problem or they're self-medicating. Usually, some people just like a good buzz, but still, I don't really see how you could need that stuff on the diet, because it makes you feel totally balanced. Because when you do drugs, when you do substances, even smoking cigarettes, right, it excites adrenaline and other hormones in your body, and that's part of what gives you the buzz and the feeling. So you get addicted to that, but also the ritual of the habit, the smoking or whatever, and that's what feeds your addiction and your habit, are these other like psychosomatic triggers and keys. So it's not just like the drug, it's what's surrounding the drug. And yeah, that's why people get addicted. But like I said, when you're feeding your body the fats you need, so your endocrine system can be calm and balanced, you don't need those things, right? With raw milk and honey, you don't need to do drugs. With lube formulas and milkshakes, you don't need to do drugs, right? Because you have the fats. It's going to soothe and calm your body. 30 different supplements every day. Yeah, that's pretty bad, dude. Not just heavy metals, but indigestible, non-utilizable um, nutrients and minerals. They're just going to build up in your body because your body can't use powders. Yeah, so he said some people, not everybody, some people have the capacity to transmute the tobacco tars into cholesterol. And yes, the alcohol is a solvent, and it would get rid of the oils in the lungs. Yeah. Smoking is like cooked vegetable oil, yes. It is. I mean, that's really what it is. It's vegetable tars, and there's oil in the tars. So Yeah, I mean, you're not cooked. You have time. You're probably young people who are starting the diet, and yeah, labs are one thing. I mean, they can change. They don't really show. If you have good labs, that's fine. That's probably all fine and good. But if you're young, that's pretty normal. So normally, normally these things don't happen until later in life, mid 30s or 40s. That's when you start slowing down and stuff. So, apple cider vinegar, does it also remove vegetable oils? Not really. Um, Probably not as much. I don't really know how much apple cider vinegar gets used as a solvent in general. You're thinking your olive oils, your flaxseed oils, your coconut cream, pineapples, grapefruit, stuff like that can help remove those tars. The fats, to activate the mucus to work to get rid of that stuff. That's kind of the key. If I am ingesting the clay, yes, it has to have soaked for 5 days if I'm ingesting it. Um, if I'm just making a clay mask for my face or somewhere else on my body for a rash, I won't have the clay moist. You can't, usually I don't. All the clay I have is moist because it's from a river. So I just put it in a container and, yeah, I put it in a container and I kept it there. So it's moist, pre moistened. But yeah, if you're buying dry clay, you can mix it up and apply it topically without having to let it sit because you're not ingesting it. No, apple cider vinegar can degrade your bones, especially your teeth. Um, so you do want to have it mixed in with, fats generally, milk, sport formula, that sort of thing, and vegetable juice with the egg and the cream, maybe a little bit. It might be. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But it's not. It's not. It's not removing the bones because it's a solvent. It's removing a bone because apple cider vinegar has minerals in it, and so when you put it into your system, it can create an imbalance, which can leach. It has to do with the calcium and phosphorus. Wow, weeks and years. That's really different, though. Apple cider. Hmm. Yeah, apple cider is good. I didn't do any hard cider this year. Apple cider is tasty though. High antibodies? I have no idea. Might be overproducing white blood cells, or you're just producing just enough of them. It's hard to say. I don't know. I've been streaming 3 hours. Wow. Wowie zowie. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute. Okay. No, it wouldn't be mutant antibodies. Well, maybe. Might be a reaction to them. Let's see here. What else do I need to do? Oh, yeah. My cheese. Okay, I'm back. What's up? I'm back. Ten likes, awesome. Thank you. When did I start this? 6 o'clock, yeah, it's 10 o'clock now. Okay, well, I think I'm going to call it a wraps. Call it wraps. There's no activity in the chat. Streaming for 3 hours. I think I'm going to call it quits. So, if you haven't seen, I posted my new video. It's an annual report. It's my experience of being on the diet for 8 years, particularly highlighting this past year. So you might want to go listen to that. But thanks for hanging out.